It's been a minute since we've talked about the rumored Arkham Origins Remaster, but luckily for you guys, we have new information that could possibly be the root of some really good news. This could be a very, very good vibe video. Welcome to VideoGameLeaks, everybody. Chaos here, and in case you haven't been following this rumor over the last few months, we initially heard from an anonymous source that Batman Arkham Origins was going to get a remaster before the release of the upcoming Suicide Squad game. Now, the rumors, they were later corroborated by a handful of industry insiders, although there's very little information about the project, and even to this day, it's kind of a mystery. So far, we've heard that the remaster is aiming to get Arkham Origins up to visual fidelity of the Return to Arkham collection, but likely a tad better due to the changes in gaming hardware since the collection's release. We also heard that a new photo mode would be implemented and there would be a handful of new additional costumes, but this would all come at the price of the multiplayer, which will be cut in order to put more focus on single-player content. Frankly, I'm okay with that. Arkham Origins multiplayer was dead on arrival, so I'm willing to sacrifice that for the sake of getting the single-player up to its true potential. Now, Origins, it was a fantastic story, but the gameplay, it was riddled with bugs, and it really hurt the potential experience. Now, with the remaster of Arkham Origins, we could finally experience this game the way the developers originally envisioned it, which could really help revive its popularity. Make sure you have those subscriptions on and notifications and all that. And let's get into the new leaks. It's been suggested that Warner Brothers is trying to revive the Arkham universe before the launch of Suicide Squad next year, which I think is smart. And Suicide Squad will be in the Arkhamverse, and it will be the first Arkhamverse game since Arkham Knight back in 2015. Now, with Gotham Knights looking like a potential, could be a flop, maybe, we'll see. Warner Brothers really needs to hype the DC Universe back up in the gaming community. There's actually a few ways that they're doing that, and that's where our new intel comes from. A while back, there was a huge leak via Nvidia's internal database. I'm talking a list of dozens of unannounced games and PC ports that sounded like pipe dreams, but since then, that list has been confirmed to be 100% legitimate, meaning we have a master list of major games that are in development. Now, the main games from that list that people were talking about are like the RE4 remake, Uncharted, God of War, and there was a Batman game that not many people are talking about today, despite it being crucial to Arkham Origins getting remastered. On that Nvidia leak, there was an RTX remaster of Arkham Knight, the final game in the series, and by far the most visually impressive. Now, Arkham Knight was also riddled with technical problems on launch day on PC, much more than Arkham Origins, and it led to the PC version of the game being largely written off by gamers, but after a series of patches, the PC version of Knights is now really good, and there's still a passionate community of players. The Nvidia leak promised an RTX remaster of Arkham Knight, and it can be assumed that Warner Brothers is going forward with this project for the same reasons they've allegedly remastered Origins or are. By releasing an RTX remaster of Arkham Knight, they would revive the Arkhamverse hype on the PC. They would remind people that the games run super well and the PC ports were fixed. The Arkham franchise has a bad rep on the PC because of their ports for Origins and Knight. They were bad. But the RTX remaster is going to kind of be that peace offering, that olive branch from Warner Brothers to the fans. By giving the PC community a new version of a great Batman game, well, maybe they'll forgive the company for how they launched it. So what does any of this have to do with Arkham Origins, you may ask? Well, let me explain to you. Now I'm hearing rumors that the Origins remaster is actually going to be a similar project to the Arkham Knight RTX remaster. Instead of being a full do-over of the game like what we got with Return to Arkham, Origins is instead going to get what is essentially a big RTX patch. It would completely transform the game into something more modern. Instead of being a complete re-release of the game, it would essentially be a giant paid patch that overhauls the visuals, the bugs, deletes the multiplayer options from the menu, and that would make sense because the servers were shut down a long time ago. Now, to me, this is good news and bad news. It's good news because PC owners of Arkham Origins won't have to pay much extra for a new version of the game, and since the base game is only $5 to $10 most of the time right now, the Arkham Origins RTX Remaster would actually be reasonably priced. Here's the bad news though. It effectively means the consoles would not be getting a remastered version of the game, which, if that's true, I'm actually not happy about that at all. I think that's a big drop on the ball. That's just me. You guys can let me know what you think about that. Now, Arkham Origins Remastered wasn't part of the big Nvidia leak, but Arkham Knight RTX was, meaning we know that Warner Brothers isn't done with the previous Arkhamverse games yet. Yes, Suicide Squad is set to revive the universe next year. It looks amazing. Looks like it could be something that just catapults the Arkhamverse forward. I mean, I know WB's main priority is to make sure people are ready for that game, but it's also to make sure people remember this universe. You probably don't want to invest a ton of money into remastering games that still look decent by modern standards, so what do? They're going to do RTX remasters on the PC. I mean, I hope WB reconsiders this, assuming it's true. By only doing Arkham Origins Remastered on the PC, you are cutting out millions of Batman fans and console players from experiencing the developer's vision for that game. Like I said, because of all the bugs and the technical issues, we never really got to see what that game was capable of. And if a new version only launches on one platform, I mean, that's pretty lame to me. It's lame for everybody else who supported it back in the day and is not going to get a chance to see what comes of it. Now, keep in mind, as with everything we cover here, it's totally possible we're completely wrong about this, and there is no Arkham Origins remasters in the works, and I wouldn't blame you for saying that. I get that. I do. But I don't know. I have a feeling. I also know there isn't a whole lot of information out there about the project, but there is some info. And to me, that's enough to want to talk about it. That's enough to at least make it a conversation, especially since this Arkham Knight RTX leak was in that Nvidia master list leak list. I just have to connect the two. I do. I really, really do. Origins was so underrated. I don't think it's fair to the world to write it off the way they did. I really don't. Thankfully, a lot of people have gone back and revisited this underrated gem of a Batman game, so I'm hoping Warner Brothers has their ears to the pavement, to the ground, and they actually see this and they follow through and they give us a new version of it that fixes all the technical problems while in the same breath updates the visuals. What does that do? And this is the game plan for a lot of your big publishers. That gets everybody hyped for Suicide Squad. You revisit the Arkhamverse, you remind people of what was and what is to come, and you sell more copies. Now, my only concern is they may solely be relying on the RTX for Arkham Knights to get that done. And if so, it's not a mistake. It will get that done. It will serve the purpose. It will get everybody hyped up. Arkham Knights was an amazing game, beautiful game, and an RTX version, it's just gonna blow people out of the water. It'll get them ready, but once again, bring Arkham Origins along for the ride. It deserves it, it's ready for it, and I think a lot of the fans deserve to see it. Let me know what you guys think. We'll keep you posted if anything new comes from this, and I'll see you soon.